Hello everybody and welcome back to the We Like Dota League. It's a new season, it's a new year. I'm super excited for this. Happy Friday to you all. We've got a couple group stage series on deck for you tonight. We're starting things off with Savoury characters versus Razzil Dazzle coming out of the Crown division, which is gonna be a hot one. That's your middle division this year. This is gonna be some good stuff. Just had our coin flip. Savoury characters chose first pick. Razzle Dazzle chose Radiant. So in just a moment, we should be hopping into our draft. Savoury characters making their return to the league from last year. A bit of a fan favorite team. They are going to be fun to watch again this year for sure. Razzle Dazzle, all people you'll recognize if you've been watching the league for the past year or two. Last year, some of these players were on Pups Pals and Secret Agent Roshan. And it sounds like before that, more of them were together on Pincho Zuchi. So many mainstays of the league for us in this matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Coming into the league, you can also see Team MMR 34.99 versus 34.30, so going to be a very even matchup, at least as far as we expect to see based on that. And our draft has begun once all our players are connected. Savoury Characters has a few players in Europe and Australia, so
5 seconds.
Have occasional lag issues, but they certainly don't play like that's an issue. We had one match earlier this week. Start off things for WLDL 2024, but this is first one I'm getting to see, first one in the Crown Division. First time we're seeing how these teams adapt to the new draft format. Because I believe that was changed after last year's season ended. I think it was a later patch in the year.
5 seconds.
Savoury characters starting things off with a Nature's Prophet ban. Certainly a ban you don't mind seeing. These global support heroes, the Nature's Prophet, the Spirit Breaker, they've been absolute menaces lately. If you've got somebody that knows how to play them, it's a real threat. On the other side of the board, you're going to see Arc Warden, Lina. These bans are targeted directly at Savoury characters captain Aisha, aka Shield Strange, as you may know her from past seasons.
It is
known to be a menace on the Arc Warden, the Lina, a few other mid-heroes. And so you will often see plenty of targeted bans sent her way. Also the highest MMR on the side of Savoury characters. So another reason to prioritize your bans there. And ban out the Meepo as well, taking it out right from the beginning. Might get a full 4 bans for Aisha here. Oh, we gotta open the chat too.
5 seconds.
Yep. They know it, everybody knows it. It's what you gotta do when you play against Savoury characters. Savoury themselves banning out the Vengeful Spirit, so continuing to go after that support role. Let's see, was that a hero? That was one of the more picked heroes, tied for the most actually, for Pups Pals last year. And for Secret Agent Roshan, so I'm not sure if they're looking at the same things that I'm looking at. Or they've probably done much more thorough draft research than I have. Once it comes around to my turn to play against these guys, I'll be digging into it even more. But I've got the teams that they were playing on last year open to get a sense. Obviously, the meta was very different. But yeah, the Vengeful Spirit was popular for both Pups Pals and Secret Agent Roshan. So whichever one of those teams the support is coming from for Razzil Dazzle, good chance they were looking at picking up. Razzil Dazzle getting deeper into the reserve time. For this last ban, it's going to be the Viper, so maybe protecting a hero with an important passive like a Spectre or Bristleback. See if Savoury characters are expecting something like that and might throw a ban towards one of those heroes, or if it's just a hero that they don't want to see. Abaddon is going to be the last one taken out by Savoury characters, and they're going to go for the Lion on the opening pick. Ever since his most recent patches, this hero has been an absolute menace. Very popular position 4, and I think even before he was in the meta, this was already a Benji special. So, not surprised to see them going after that Lion on the first pick. That is what they take the first pick for after winning that coin flip. See what Razzil Dazzle want to answer here with? Maybe, I mean, you have the Abaddon banned out. That would be one of your better answers, a reliable purge to get the stun off of one of your heroes. See if they want to go for something similar. It's hard to find something like that. You'd be looking at like an Omni Knight or a Legion Commander, but those aren't necessarily heroes that are super in vogue right now or that you want to open off your draft with. Just makes the Lion even stronger. They're going to go for the Nyx Assassin, so they're going to take this from a more offensive approach, set themselves up to have a hero that can hunt this Lion down before he even gets a chance to get into the fight. The absolute nuke of this hero can decimate a hero like Lion, especially if we see this Nyx Assassin in the core role, which I think is where we've been seeing it a bit more often lately, either in the mid or off lane. We might also see it on a support. I think that's where it had tended to be played more often in the past, and so that might be where there's more comfort on it for these players on Razzil Dazzle. Savoury characters, they're going to go after the Spectre and the Dawnbreaker, so still concerned about a Spectre pick after seeing the Viper ban. Makes a lot of sense to get that one out of the way. The Dawnbreaker was a big one for Pups Pals last year. 10 matches, 70% win rate. And I want to say that was Pony Ride playing it. Just off the dome from playing against them last year. Outworld Destroyer going to be the last ban of the middle phase. Razzil Dazzle taking that one out. Most likely another Aisha hero that they're concerned about seeing there. They're going to go right into the Shadow Shaman, so basically picking up the Discount Lion. Nice long stun and hex as well from this hero. Also gives you a very significant amount of tower push. Excuse me. That tower push coming out of your support hero, very, very helpful to have. It's going to put a lot more pressure on the Savoury characters who are pretty well known for looking to take things into the late game. It gives them a good option to have a defense. Winter Wyvern is going to be the pick for Savoury characters. So this is most likely going to be their position 5. Makes sense to see it picked up at this point in the draft. I would say there's a good chance we've just seen all 4 support heroes taken to start things off, and they're going to follow it up with a Mars. That is a fun... It's an interesting combo with the Winter Wyvern. It's probably what you're going to try to use to follow up the Winter's Curse. You have to be careful about how you use the curse. You don't want to catch it on the edge of the Mars arena and have them work against each other. So I think you're just going to use the curse to bring everybody together, then drop the arena around them, have even more time where they're not allowed to escape from an area. Razzil Dazzle, they're going to answer it with the Zeus, so going even harder into the magic damage, which has been a decent part of the meta lately, with the upgrades to Shiva's Guard, building out a Veil of Discord. You've also got the Honda and Parasma added in, which either one... I mean, Zeus was already building Phylactery a lot before, and so if you're going a Lightning Hands build, then the crit damage doesn't hurt. You're going more magic damage, but if you want to go Phylactery into Lightning Hands, then picking up the Conda afterwards certainly feels pretty good. So I like the Zeus in this meta. And they followed up with our Wraith King. Give something big and beefy for this Shadow Shaman and Zeus to stand behind. A hero that's not going to mind if they are the focus of these teamfight ults. They'll pop right back up after going down once. Is a little bit scary into the Winter's Curse. Those big crits that Wraith King dish out can very quickly get turned against your own team, which can be a concern. So the positioning from Razzil Dazzle is going to be really important here. One last pick from Savoury for the middle phase. Curious what they want to go with. Likely going to pick up their carry here and have their mid be saved for last. But it kind of depends what they want to do, because they also don't necessarily see the carries lane matchup. They are going to pick up the carry. It's going to be the Phantom Lancer. So they've got a couple bans to protect it here. And the AoE damage isn't massive on Razzil Dazzle yet. You've got the Chain Lightning from Zeus is kind of your one big way. Wraith King can obviously go a Maelstrom and a Battle Fury. Those are both going to give you good options to chunk through these illusions, but not amazing options. I think it's looking like a pretty good Phantom. And you get 2 more bans to protect it here, so not too unsafe of a pick to go for that illusion strat. Not seeing any amazing combos, but it's a good source of damage into the Mars arena. Or, you know, stacking up those illusions on whoever's being controlled by the Lion. You may even be able to start building up your illusions on the Winter's Curse target, even though you can't deal any damage from heroes other than Winter Wyvern from your side of the curse. I think you can still be attacking them as PL and be building up your pile of illusions. I'm expecting to see some good illusion clear heroes, especially ones that play out of the offlane, taken out here. They're going to go for the Urza, so actually still open to the possibility that this is an offlane Wraith King, which is something I hadn't been considering, but is definitely possibly more likely than a carry Wraith King. It's something we'd been seeing a lot of on past patches, but I haven't seen as much Wraith King lately to know where he's more likely to go. Queen of Pain banned out for Razzil Dazzle. So yeah, they most likely looking like it's going to be Aisha's hero to round things out, so they get 2 more targeted bans. This is potentially a full 7 bans for this player. The Snapfire is going to be the last one to go. Maybe indicating that this is a like a Nyx Assassin offlane, and they're going to pick up an Undying on their last pick for their supports. Also could just be because it's really scary into the Mars. That's probably more likely. That would be an interesting one. Also might be just something that they've seen Aisha's been practicing lately out of the mid lane. Yeah, I'm curious if that could also be protecting a Phoenix. That's even more important than the Undying, and I like how that lane's a little better. If your side laners are Nyx Assassin and Wraith King, Faceless Void's going to be the ban from Savoury characters. So they seem pretty set that this Wraith King's in the offlane. And they're going to go Tiny for their mid laner. So they like the Tiny matchup into the Zeus, assuming that is where the Zeus is going. It's also, there is a decent amount of flexibility in this Razzil Dazzle draft, because you could have this Nyx Assassin mid, and the Zeus is one of your supports, and then you're taking the offlane here in that way. I'm guessing Savoury has the right read on it, though, and they're going to be picking up a carry here. Tiny's also going to give you, kind of protects the Phantom Lancer if there was any chance that Razzil Dazzle was going to go it, because that's a good source of AoE damage. I'm a little surprised we didn't see something like a Pudge banned out from Savoury. I don't know that Razzil Dazzle plays it, but if they could fit it into their draft, that's been a really good answer to the illusions. They're gonna go for the Juggernaut. So yeah, it is gonna be an offlane Wraith King. The Jug is going to be your carry played by Mort on the side of Razzil Dazzle. And that gives you another decent option for the illusion clear. You've got the spin, you'll definitely go a Battle Fury or a Maelstrom. So making sure that you have the answers there. It's also really nice into the Mars. Have the spin to escape from the arena. Okay, and as is WLDL tradition, we gotta talk about the hats, and we are coming out swinging in this one. We've got triple Arcana on the side of Razzil Dazzle, with the Zeus, Wraith King, and Juggernaut. The hats are real good on the side of Savoury characters. This Mars set right in front is looking great. We got the decked out Lion, and we got Christmas Tiny. I think I gotta give it to Razzil Dazzle, though, on the hats. This Nyx Assassin set looks sick. This is a great Shadow Shaman set. I think I rock a similar one for my Shadow Shaman, but I haven't played it in a while. And yeah, the triple Arcana is putting in a lot of work. I think that's the fully leveled Arcana on the Juggernaut. I don't remember which order those go in. Maybe it is blue first and then red. Yeah, as for the actual draft itself, I think I like the synergies between the Savoury draft a little more, and I don't know that the Phantom Lancer is answered enough. So I think I'm going to give the edge to the side of Savoury characters. We shall see if that ends up being the case as we get into our first match of the night. Meet our players and see where we are headed on the side of Savoury characters. Benji on the position for Lion. Be joining Pepperboy on the offlane Mars over here. Beats on the Phantom Lancer in the carry role. Aisha on the Tiny in the mid lane. And then Owl rounding things off as the position 5 Winter Wyvern. On the side of Razzil Dazzle, the triple stun from Benji right up the high ground into a 4-man avalanche. Do you have the answer of the Earth Spike? And it's actually Aisha getting brought down low, and that's going to be first blood, and it goes to Pony Ride. Absolutely devastating. The mid laner picking up the first blood on the opposite mid laner. So it was a beautiful setup from Savoury characters, ends up getting turned around. Razzil Dazzle having the slightly better damage at level 1. They pick up the first blood. Your Razzil Dazzle team is going to be Pony Ride on the mid Zeus, Super Nintendo Chalmers on the off lane Wraith King. It's like they will be joined by Rufio in the off lane as the position for Nyx Assassin. And then your safe lane is going to be Mort on the Juggernaut, joined by Sergeant Sarcasm on the Shadow Shaman as the position 5. Alright, so we're going to have to see how Aisha's able to recover from that first blood. I don't think it'll set her back too much. She picked this Tiny, having seen the Zeus, expecting this matchup. So this should be a matchup that Savoury characters prefer. Top, we're going to have pretty stun-heavy lane between this Wraith King and Nyx Assassin. But heroes that aren't super easy to pin down between the Winter Wyvern having the Arctic Burn Flight, and then the Phantom Lancer being a very slippery hero on the Phantom. Down bot, I think this is where we're going to get kills. Gonna have to see Mort be very careful with this Blade Fury. As soon as it's used, look for Benj and Pepperboy to try to immediately punish it.
For you.
It's gonna be on Mort to kind of hold it up and be ready for them to try to initiate. But the chain stuns between the Earth Spike into the Spear, it's a potential for some scary stuff. Lane's starting off pretty even so far. Aisha taking a little bit more harass, which is kind of what you expect into a Zeus. Bottle already ready to go. Got the magic stick ready for that arc lightning, taking advantage of the high amount of spells that are going to get cast here by the Zeus. Water runes spawn. Nobody making a dash for them yet. The avalanche on the Zeus, disrupting some of that farm, trying to set it up for Aisha. Ponyard is going to be able to escape to get that water in. Check things out over on the bot side. Sergeant Sarcasm eating the mana drain into the spear, but does not get connected to the tree. Was able to walk that one off. He's going to set up on Benji, but Mort is not quite in the area to be able to follow that up with a spin. So Sergeant Sarcasm going to be in a little bit of trouble without the stun. Blood Grenade comes down, and the Shadow Shaman just trying to run things off. Earthspike connects, and that's going to be a kill for Benji. Nicely done from the offlane here. Top Owl going to eat a stun. Immediately has the Cold Embrace ready to heal back up. Meat's going to bring some Harass out in response. I'll addition out the Arctic Burn as well. Back over in the mid lane, now it's Ponyard that's the one low. Still has a couple bottle charges, so not minding their position too much. We'll be right back up to half. Still pretty even here in the mid lane. 17-3 to 15-1. Oh, getting low. Ponyard. Back over to the mid lane. Does have the jump away, and it looks like that's what keeps them alive. Aisha pinging out that Ponyard's pretty low. Seeing if somebody can make the rotation over to the lane. Like Ponyard wants to get over that water rune, but Aisha is well aware of where this is. They're going to throw out the avalanche, but the jump away again. Looks like that'll give Ponyard the space to be able to pick up the water rune. Going to be a big help for this Zeus to help stand in lane against this Tiny, who's now actually taking a decent lead against the Zeus. So this is kind of what Savoury characters were expecting as they drafted the Tiny into the Zeus. Starting to see that matchup pay off for them. Rufio getting some deep vision. Owl throwing out the Arctic Burn. Gonna try to give some harass, but doesn't quite make it up the high ground. Rufio is going to... Ooh, that's cruel. Picks up the D-Ward before the camp can be unblocked, so that's gonna be blocked until Owl can get another blue ward out to this lane. All around the map, people sitting pretty good on health. Sergeant Sarcasm doing some manual blocking, that 5-minute timing preventing the pulls for the Dire offlane. Now gonna look to set up on the Mars. Throws out the stun on the Hex, but Mort hanging on to that spin, the Blade Fury, to make sure that if they start trying to turn the harass and the stuns back on the Jug, it's not going to go their way. Top beat's getting a little bit low, but we'll be able to slip away just fine. Get healed up nice and good from the Cold Embrace. Nintendo Chalmers is going to take that opportunity to step behind them. Throws out the stun, they follow up with the Earth Spike. Mana Drain, beat's getting pretty low, but looks like it's going to be able to escape. Nice slow from Owl on that Splinter Blast, using the creep wave to their advantage. Down bot, now they get the spin set up that they're looking for. The spear is just too early. Then they get the stun, that's going to keep Pepperboy alive. Well played by Benji again. Last second Earth Spike is just enough to get them off their back. Up top, Cold Embrace doing a good job keeping the beats up to full. Wearing down the harass. Coming out from this Wraith King Nyx Assassin lane. When it comes out from Aisha, both sides have their level 6 and get the toss back under tower. That heavenly jump gives Zeus all the space in the world to be able to escape. Gun bot, we've got Sergeant Sarcasm getting a little low. That's slow and damage now on that mana drain. They're going to try to turn this around. They get the stun from the shackles under the spin. Now they get the Hex back the other way onto Morton. Aisha's going to make the rotation over here, so Sergeant Sarcasm could be in trouble. Aisha looking to connect. They have the blue ward, so they see this, but it's not going to be enough to be able to escape. The Avalanche connects into the Earth Spike, and Sergeant Sarcasm is going to go down. Nice rotation from Aisha. able to find that kill off on the side of the map. The mid laners are our two up at the top of the net worth charts at 7 minutes. So both sides farming pretty well here out of the mid lane. Not really minding their matchup thus far. And a jump forward from Ponyard does actually manage to dodge the avalanche that was coming for the high ground. I was very worried for Ponyard off of seeing that jump, but the avalanche doesn't quite connect and they get away with it. Rufio making the rotation over here. The Nyx Assassin looking to contest the 8-minute rune, it looks like. Aisha is going to be able to see where this Nyx is, only level 4, so not going to have benefit of a invis. Owl going to make the counter rotation over towards Rufio to help protect the rune for Aisha. Avalanche is going to set it up, eats the spiked carapace. The rune spawns on the bottom side, and Ponyard's going to get it for free. So all of that contention does not go their way, and that regen rune is going to be scary in the hands of the Zeus. Down bottom, we miss a kill. Mort taking down Pepperboy, set up by the shackles and hex of the Sergeant Sarcasm Shadow Shaman.
Regeneration.
Taking advantage of the rotation of Benji over towards the mid lane. Both sports making their way back towards top. It looks like both sides still farming pretty happily up in this top lane. They look for the stun onto Beats, but able to dodge away from it. Getting some lag on the side of Savoury. Get a quick reset.
OK， 兄弟们，全体目光向我看齐啊！
Which of course opens up the door for the voice lines.
Looks like it's time for me to go all out.
What in God's green earth is happening right now?
Thank you. I like it when my players fill the pause time for me and I don't have to. Let's see, what do we have these players cooking? Probably not much at this point. Got and nothing really queued up on the Tiny, sitting on about 500 gold. Yeah, Ponyard is going to go for that phylactery. Get that extra damage and slow on the nukes for Zeus. Curious if that is going to go towards the Lightning Hands into Conda, or if it's just going to be the more standard caster build on the Zeus. I think the Lightning Hands look good in a game against a PL. I think that's going to feel a little necessary for the Illusion Clear, because you can get out a lot more Chain Lightning with the auto attacks. Mana Boots being worked on there. Maelstrom, no surprise for the Juggernaut to chunk through those illusions. Tranquil Boots done on Benji, so we're going to see the Lion moving around a little bit more. Everybody looking at Vlad's into Blink Dagger. I like that we're seeing a resurgence of Vlad's. I thought it was going to be dead now that it doesn't build into anything. But the cost decreased by 250. Pretty nice for it. Let's you pick it up a lot earlier. So we've actually seen it come back into its own off of that. Like Savoury character's ready to go again. So we are going to get right back into it. Everybody's sitting in their lanes, so nothing spicy off the back of the pause. Aisha the only one sitting particularly low as far as health goes. Like, we're gonna get a rotation from Ponyard down towards the bottom lane. Might run into Benji here. Or maybe just gonna scoop up that rune. Looks like that will be the case. Sergeant Sarcasm making the move up to top means the Juggernaut's a little backed off. Creeps are going to spot out the rotation from the Shaman. They won't get too much of a surprise here, as big investment banking on the Savoury character side, picking up these runes for Aisha. Gonna be a full heal and then some. this turns into a rotation. No, we've got Benji coming in towards the mid lane. We have the vision up on the high ground here, so Pony Ride knows to worry about that. Up top, it's actually going to be a kill found on Owl. Winter Wyvern going down. Stun into Hex, into stun, into stun. There's so much stun in this game.
We don't care.
It is scary to get caught alone, as Mort may be about to find out. No spin available, and so it's going to be a spear into an Earth Spike, into a Hex, but able to escape under the tower, and now has the Blade Fury ready to go. Benji taking some heat from the tower, is forced to back away, and Mort's actually going to survive here. That safety bubble. Absolutely huge, as we miss another kill on Owl. It's okay. The 3 heroes sitting up here just going to punish the position 5, especially when the carry doesn't really want to be sitting in the lane anymore. They concede the tower. Beats is happy farming away in their jungle. Benji going to take that as the cue to come through the Twin Gate, maybe try to hunt down this Juggernaut again. Healing Ward Mort is, of course, back up to full. Also going to see some hunting by Rufio. Now that they have Vendetta ready to go. Like both supports maybe making their way towards the mid lane, looking to make something happen. See if they can find a kill on the Tiny. Have the Sussault ready to go. They're going to set up on Aisha with the Vendetta into the Earth Spike. And the Zeus ult into the Mind Flare brings down Tiny. So nice rotation from Rufio there. Showing why they picked this Nyx Assassin up in the first phase. Owl gonna make their way over to cover mid. Has to be a little careful as Super Nintendo Chalmers making their way over to this lane as well. Clearing out those creeps is gonna get spotted out. Jumps into the Winter's Embrace, but this is trouble for the Winter Wyvern. Stunned up again and brought down. Kill goes the way of Pony Ride. Pepperboy thinks better of TPing in. Pretty low on mana. Wanted to maybe look for a nice arena setup, but would be hard to find the follow-up needed to get the kills. Turn Sarcasm going to throw the wards out on the tower. Serpent Wars as we get a toss in on the Lion. Immediately stunned up. The Avalanche was not enough to save them. Oh no. Benji throws the tip to Aisha. That was tragic. Rufio hunting again now behind the tower. The tower actually going to fall here. Some nice push coming out from Razzil Dazzle, getting their money's worth out of the Mass Serpent Ward. Rufio, they're going to set up with the Vendetta again into the Earth Spike. The stuns, the chain, it's so ridiculous. They jump forward with the Winter's Curse onto 3. That's going to save Aisha and is going to maybe take off the first life of Super Nintendo Chalmers. They chain it into an avalanche, but it looks like Razzil Dazzle will be able to back away. Arden Sarcasm hunting back behind the tower, gets the Hex out on Benj, but gets responded to with the Earth Spike. Now Super Nintendo Chalmers is back in, didn't have that first life used, so still has plenty to work with. Cold Embrace is there, but the stuns, the damage from Pony Ride, it goes right through that Cold Embrace and they burn down Benji. So Razzil Dazzle keeping things rolling, 3k up, 8 kills to 2, and Pony Ride is the biggest benefactor here, sitting up at the top of the net worth by 1,000 gold over the Phantom Knight. Got Armlet well on its way for Super Nintendo Chalmers. Build that into the Blink for more initiation on the side of Razzil Dazzle. Aisha looking to pick up the Blink Dagger, just about has it, and then looking towards, looks like the Mage Slayer. Try to mitigate that magic damage from the Zeus. We're going to get a rotation down towards Pepperboy in the bot lane. Pony Ride's there to connect just in time. Set up by Super Nintendo Chalmers and Mort. Find another kill on another core, and they're going to look towards this bot tower. Got the Mass Serpent Ward ready to go. Decide if they even want to use it. They will commit it. Make quick work of this last Tier 1 tower. And keep that mat pressure up for Razzil Dazzle.
Hope for Radiant's middle tower. Dire should look to their bottom tower's bottom tower is no more.
Mort letting their team do the work down bot, although they're now going to rotate out towards the Juggernaut. Maybe looking to try to hunt down this Phantom Lancer, who's been pretty uncontested, has the Diffusal Blade ready to go, and looking at the Aghanim Scepter. As much as the tempo is so in Razzil Dazzle's favor so far, this Phantom Lancer is going to be very, very scary when they're ready to fight. When you're going to get caught up on the dire high ground, they try to set up with Aisha and Benji, but that heavenly jump is just too much.
Technically, these all belong to me.
Money changes hands.
Let's see. Benji most likely going to be saving up for a Blink Dagger here on the Lion for the initiation. Pepperboy has the Vladimirs done. Looking towards a Blink Dagger themselves next. These Blink timings as well. In addition to the timing of the Phantom Lancer, I think what we're going to see from Savoury characters, I think what they're thinking right now. Actually, they're going to go for a smoke and maybe to look to set up. The smoke's going to break, though, on an invisible Rufio. Dust comes out a little late, so they're not going to spot out the Nyx Assassin here. Now jumps forward on Sergeant Sarcasm, gets the toss back into the arena, and that's going to be a very dead Shadow Shaman. So they don't find exactly the smoke they're looking for, so they're going to look for another one off of the first pick.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
And they want to find Mort. This is a huge target if they can find it. Has just the Maelstrom. Smoke's going to break Mort, trying to escape. Has the tower, but there's the Earth Spike. Set things up into the Avalanche. The toss-up, and the Spear finishes it off and gets the kill for Pepperboy. Beats there as well, and now you've got all 5 heroes from Savoury characters who just picked up a pair of kills in a row, finding some momentum back in their direction in their first game of this WLDL season. Beats immediately going to make their way down towards the bot lane to keep farming. Already halfway to that Aghanim Scepter. This Phantom Lancer's farm really has not been slowed down at all. And I think that's going to quickly become a concern. Rufio setting up with the Vendetta, looking to hunt for something. Sergeant Sarcasm sets up with the stun Hex, and that's going to be a quick kill on the Mars. This magic damage, absolutely absurd. You've got the Phylactery and Force Staff ready to go on Pony Ride. Okay, is leaning more in the direction of that caster build. Maybe this eventually becomes a Hurricane Pike to go with the Lightning Hands, but I'm not even sure we'll see that. Because it looks like right now Pony Ride is, yeah, gonna go the Aether Lens, focusing on dishing out that magic damage. Savoury characters, maybe looking to set up another smoke. Maybe want to make a play towards Mort, who's farming here in the mid lane. They're gonna think about playing in the area. Pepperboy steps up to the lane. Like, Mort decides, yeah, I don't really want to be here anymore. I'm just going to go hit some jungle camps. Supports on Razzil Dazzle. Don't want to see this mid-tower fall. I actually haven't lost a tower yet on Razzil Dazzle. Looks like Beats is going to be the one to claim the first one. This bottom tier 1 tower, not really going to be protected at all. And at this point, 18 minutes in, you don't need a tower if you're Razzil Dazzle. Do have a smoke up on a couple heroes. Aisha's gonna make the rotation out through the Wind Gates, and the supports are gonna come to this tower. They're looking to punish this Wraith King. Hard hero to do it on, but the Winter's Curse, the damage from the skeletons on the Wraith King is actually devastating. They beautifully chain that into an Earth Spike and an Avalanche. That brings down the Wraith King the first time, but now his allies are here. The toss back to the Winter Wyvern. Owl's going to get shredded, but gets into the Cold Embrace just in time. The arena's set up onto 3, and Beats is now here with the TP. That's going to set up even more. Sergeant Sarcasm goes down. Super Nintendo Chalmers finally finds the kill onto the Shadow Shaman, but Mort gets a nice Omni Slash to bring down Aisha, but now is just going to get fully overwhelmed by the Phantom Lancer and will fall as well. Oh, Pepperboy almost gets the TP interrupt, but I think without the Spear of Mars, it didn't actually have a way to cancel it. So overall, it's a 3-for-3 in a very chaotic fight around the dire top tier 2 tower. Slight advantage actually given to Razzil Dazzle there, but I think Savoury characters have to be feeling pretty decent about how that fight went. They trade both of their supports and their mid laner for a support the offlaner and the carry. So I think as much as the gold and the XP favors Razzil Dazzle, I think Savoury characters walk away a little happier. They're going to look to sweeten that pot even more as they push down this top tower, trying to find another one of these tier 1 towers. Start chunking away at it. It looks like they'll back off now as the respawns come out. They at least get it down to half health. Over on the bot side, they immediately follow up the kill on Super Nintendo Chalmers with another, knowing that that reincarnation is still going to be on cooldown for a while. Everything just hitting level 12 and didn't quite have the point in it. Of course, it wasn't going to be off the cooldown for a while, as it was still the level 1 cooldown from, well, before they had the level 12.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
very heads-up play to find that Wraith King right off of their last respawn. Razzil Dazzle going to set up around their Tormentor. It looks like going to just barely not kill their Shadow Shaman with the damage from it, and sacrifice of all that health will reward them with the Aghanim Shard. Very nice one to get on your Shadow Shaman. The extra
Radiant's top tower is
duration
under attack.
and range, or not the duration's a talent, but the extra cast range plus the Serpent Wards on the Shackles. That's very nicely for them. In the meantime, they pick up another tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so most of that first tier of towers has hit the ground.
Money changes
Radiant's
hands.
top tower is
Got
under
the Echo
attack.
Saber done on the Tiny. Oh, so it was the Echo Saber, then the Mage Slayer. They had to beat up as they set up once again on the Wraith King. 15 seconds until the ultimates back up. This would be a brutal kill if they can find it. They use the arena to try to secure it. Can they kill this Wraith King in time, though, before the respawn is off cooldown? It's going to be super close. 4 seconds to go, and it looks like just going to be able to survive with some nice armor toggling, and they're going to turn this back around onto Pepperboy. Rufio finding the kill on Benji as well, so it's a double kill for the Nyx Assassin, as Razzil Dazzle bring the numbers and have a very nice response to the setup from Savoury characters. Man, that was right on the knife's edge. I know it always looks even closer with the armlet, but well done by Super Nintendo Chalmers there, surviving until the ultimate was back off cooldown and then didn't even end up needing to use it anyway.
Top tower is no more.
Razzil Dazzle, they're going to look to turn that into a Roshan. And with a Juggernaut and a Wraith King, attempting to make quick work of that. Looks like, meanwhile, though, Rufio gets caught scouting things out. Swiftly brought to justice. And use the Mass Serpent Wards here. That's going to make this Roach go down even faster. For Razzil Dazzle, I don't think they mind losing their Nyx Assassin here. Beam secures the Roach for them. Beats noticing that getting taken, immediately going to vacate this bottom lane. No longer a friendly place to farm. Razzil Dazzle look to get back out on the map with their new Aegis in tow.
Is under attack.
Put it on the Juggernaut, no surprise there. Not looking to stack up the respawns on the Wraith King. As fun as that can be for the Wraith King player.
Each blow sharpens our blade.
Horse Farm has been a bit slowed down as the game has gone on. Looking towards that Manta style next, not too far from it. They're probably looking to just pick up some farm with this Aegis for as long as they can, and then probably towards the end of it look to make a play. But Rufio back up with the start of that Dagon. Maybe gonna see a smoke here. Yeah, they'll smoke his 4, let Mort farm on their own. While the other 4 of the team go down. They're gonna spot these PL illusions. So the ping comes out onto Beats. Rufio's gonna be the one leading the hunt with the Vendetta, so even after the smoke is broken, fully invisible. But Beats seems to have a good read on this smoke. He's going to play it pretty safe. It's actually going to be a smoke back the other way from Savoury.
No, take that.
Mort safely is able to escape from farming that ancient camp. So nobody finding each other yet. Other characters maybe thinking about hitting their Tormentor, or maybe just going to set up in the area of it. But it looks like Razzil Dazzle They're just going to back off, go back to farming. They've got the Manta done on Juggernaut, so probably wanting to play around that timing alongside the Aegis, but still 3 minutes to work with on it. Got the Mage Slayer done on Aisha, but could potentially be the victim of a jump here, as Mort gonna look forward, but Blink Dagger is there, able to escape. Another smoke from Razzil Dazzle. This time Mort farming out in front of them. Second person vision. Not much to speak of up on this top jungle side of the map. Or the Dire. Every character is content for now to keep sitting back farming up. Aghanim Scepter done, looking towards that Heart of Trask. I also really like this casual cloak for beats. Maybe was thinking about going a Mage Slayer, but then saw that Aisha already had one. Not that it's an item that you hate to have two of in a game like this. There's so much magic damage coming out from Razzil Dazzle that the more you can secure that magic damage reduction, they're going to bring a lot of heroes here. They do set up with the Mass Serpent Ward, so this is going to be a little bit scarier of a fight, but nice positioning on the arena from Pepperboy. Set up on just Super Nintendo Chalmers, though. It's going to be the only one top, but Aisha's right into the back line onto Pony Ride. They're going to find the Wraith King once. Sergeant Sarcasm, though, gets a nice stun up from the high ground. Pony Ride trying to escape, though. The illusions swarming them. Going to go for the TP away, but Pepperboy just has the knockback. They're not going to be able to stop it. Meanwhile, in the backline, Owl gets the Winter's Curse onto Mort. There's no heroes to set up on it. Now Beats may be the one in trouble as Mort spins forward. Still has the Omni Slash available, so if they can secure out this Beats, maybe they don't even need it. It's actually going to be the Aegis that goes down. The Winter's Curse keeps Beats alive even longer. Meanwhile, the illusions keep spamming out, and now they've completely lost where this Phantom Lancer is. Has the dodge away from the Aghanim Scepter. Now they're going to chase back towards Mort. They have the toss and the spear. Those will finish it off in Savoury characters. They end up executing a very nice fight out of the chaos. 4 heroes going down. I believe they at least lost the Lion at the start of that, but that's also the Aegis off of Mort, so that was a huge fight for Savoury characters. Now have their first significant lead of the game, 3k up. Things start to swing back their way, these heroes hitting their timings, and suddenly this lineup looks very, very scary. Pepperboy finds the spear on Sergeant Sarcasm, looking out towards that 28-minute Wisdom Rune, trying to set up on it, but it's going to be Sergeant Sarcasm that's the one set up on. This one last shield bash will do it and bring the Shaman down. Savoury character is going to be the ones who end up taking the first tower. It looks like now jump forward, the arena's back up, and they're immediately onto Pony Ride, who gets brought down. Super Nintendo Chalmers in trouble as well, and no respawn available. Rufio is trying to hunt, but the Winter's Curse saves Benji. The saves from Owl have been absolutely massive this game, and a spear is going to stun up Rufio and bring down the Nyx Assassin as well. And right back to pushing they go. Savoury characters just absolutely rolling now that they've found their momentum in this game 1.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
There's also still the full 9-second BKB. Pepperboy is not needed to use it yet.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, these Blink Dagger timings, they've had them for a bit now, but with the PL being fully online, that Heart of Trask finished, it's some scary stuff.
Regeneration.
Razzil Dazzle, all of this happening off of the back of the Aegis that they had. So now it's looking even more difficult for them to get their footing back into this game.
Middle tower is under attack.
The Jug looking towards a Mjolnir, trying to make sure that they can clear out these illusions. Also amp up the attack speed for the Omni Slash and Blade Fury, which scale off of that.
Your death approach.
Pony Ride has the E-Blade done, so looking for a way to mitigate some of that physical damage coming out from the Savoury character side. Looking towards a BKB next, so having kind of both options, the magic and the physical. Super Nintendo Chalmers looking at the BKB as well. These BKB timings are going to be really, really important. There's so much setup and disable and chain stun on the Savoury character side. These cores, once they hit their BKBs, that's going to be, I think, Razzil Dazzle's potential ticket back into this game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Savoury characters, they're going to chop down another tier 2 tower on the Radiant side. So after you get all 3 of the Dire tier 1 towers, then all 3 of the Radiant tier 1 towers, and now Savoury characters getting the first 2 tier 2 towers off the map. They're going to go right into the base, setting up with the stuns. Benji's the one getting brought low. The Winter's Curse is not going to quite be enough. They have a little more chip damage from the wards. Sergeant Sarcasm getting brought low is finally going to go down. Pony Ride in trouble as well. Super Nintendo Chalmers will have a respawn, but able to escape to the base for now. Now it's only 3, make that 4 off of the buyback, so it'll be a 4v4 as the first tier 3 tower falls. Savoury characters bring that down, and where did that barracks go? The damage from this tiny off of the tree, as they look to set up on the Shadow Shaman and the Wraith King both falling in the avalanche. Owl getting blown up by Rufio, but they're immediately going to be able to turn their attention back towards the Nyx Assassin, and Mort now in trouble as well. Rufio buys back. They want to try to hold this barracks, but Mort is going to be stunned up and brought down. No buybacks available there, and out of nowhere, it looks like Savoury characters have not only found themselves a barracks, but may have also found themselves this game. This high ground push going beautifully for them. These blink daggers into their back line, taking away any chance for Razzil Dazzle to try to initiate on them under their high ground. Super Nintendo Chalmers looking to mitigate some of this damage, but is just going to get stunned up from the spear into the avalanche. Now the toss back to McAvoy. Super Nintendo Chalmers goes down. Does have buyback on the Wraith King as another tier 3 tower falls. Aisha continues to chunk through these barracks with that tree on the Tiny, has the Aghanim Shard, so gets as many whacks with the tree as she wants. Now jumping forward once again with the Blink Dagger, and Rufio is removed from the game. Over a minute off of the dieback. The Aghanims has arrived as well for the Tiny. Boisha chucking those trees out, threatening anybody who wants to even consider leaving the fountain on the Radiant side. Full barracks in the top lane done. They're going to turn their attention, finish off that last tier 2 tower in the mid lane. And Savoury characters, just like that, 32 minutes, they're threatening Megas. You're going to have the Wraith King respawning in a couple seconds. Will have a minute until reincarnation, but has the buyback ready to go. The last tier 3 tower falls in Razzil Dazzle's base. The barracks not long behind it without Rufio, still 4v5. Not really having a way to defend this. The mega creeps are found for Savoury characters. And they're going to not push their luck any further. Back out of the base, reset, refill their mana pools. Make sure they have all their lanes pushed out before they go for that final high ground push. Like, potentially looking to pick up an Aegis as well, as Roshan has respawned. Benji will be the one to scout it out, and the rest of the team will not be far behind.
You were doing
looking
very
to
well.
make sure
I'm
that
very
there
proud of you.
is really no chance of dropping this last fight for the base. And it only looks harder for the side of Razzil Dazzle. Only a Zeus buyback ready to go for them in this next base defense. The Aegis as well, so it's going to be a tough one. They do get the buyback on Juggernaut ready to go too. That's a big help for them. There's going to be a Roshan's banner for this push as well. Another new addition to the game since last season. Who is even carrying that? Benji's got it ready to go on the Lion. Guessing they'll throw that in this lane before they start their push up. Get those mega creeps being even more formidable. It's going to be right into the Radiant base for Savoury characters. So this is going to be Razzil Dazzle's space to try to defend. Got the wave clear, but the tree toss immediately into the stun. Sergeant Sarcasm already removed, and now Pony Ride set up on with the arena, keeping them out of their fountain. trying to turn things around out of Pepperboy, taking a lot of damage from Mort, but now the Winter's Curse is there, holds the Wraith King in place and forces Mort to attack them. Super Nintendo Chalmers is not quite going to survive. Mort goes down as well. They have the buybacks, but meanwhile the Mega Creeps are hitting their tier 4s, trying to hold. They throw out the Omni Slash, chunking through, brings down one support, and the Thunder God's Wrath will bring down another, but now Mort trying to escape. The Blade Fury has run out, the Life has as well, the Healing Word's not enough. Now it's only Zeus, and both of them get caught in the Shield Bash. They will both fall, and GG will be called. Savoury characters take game number 1. 35 minutes in, the Ancient Falls. What a start to our season here in the Crown Division of WLDL. Very entertaining game 1. The comeback from Savoury characters, it was actually never, I guess just compared to what it was in the end, the gold lead never got massive for Razzil Dazzle, and that kind of tells you how this game was going. The farm from 4 beats was just too much. Let's look at that. Yeah, Zeus out in front for a good chunk of that game, but then from like 18 minutes onwards, 4 beats just kind of in another league. 10-0-6. That's gotta be my MVP for this game. 4 beats on the Phantom Lancer. Very strong showing. Very nice job getting the farm. Set up very well by the rest of Savoury characters. Even when they weren't winning fights across the map, they were keeping the attention off of that Phantom Lancer, giving them the space they needed, setting things up. That was great. I'm looking forward to Game 2. This is going to be a best of 2 series for us between Savoury characters and Razzil Dazzle, so stay tuned. Check out Game 2 in just a bit. Alright, and we are back for game number 2, getting ourselves right into the draft. Had Savoury characters take game number 1 of this best of 2 series.
5 turn to ban.
So, Savoury characters won the game 1 coin flip. Razzil Dazzle got priority, so we see things flipped. They take first pick for themselves. Give Savoury characters the Radiant side as their choice.
10 seconds remain. 5
See what we get for bans here. Yeah, looking so far like largely the same things. We're gonna get the Nature's Prophet and the Abaddon band out on the Savoury character side. Razzil Dazzle once again going for the Arc Warden Lena. Savoury characters ban out the Vengeful Spirit one more time, and this time take away the Lion so that Razzil Dazzle cannot first pick it the way Savoury did last game.
5 seconds.
Razzil Dazzle gonna get one more ban before their first pick. See if we get... So last time with 4 bans, they went Meepo Viper here. Curious if we'll get one more of those. Or if they're gonna go a slightly different route, maybe take out a support hero. Or if they continue going the full 7 ban slate for Aisha in the day. It is going to be the Meepo. There's certainly a threat of Aisha playing the Meepo. I don't know if we'd see it picked up in the first phase. I think that's potentially a ban that can be left for later in the draft. But if it's not something you're prepared to play against, and the Meepo certainly has been incredibly strong on this patch, then can't really hurt to make sure that it's out of the draft right away. Razzil Dazzle, they are going to get the Dawnbreaker. So let's see, last game I had said the Dawnbreaker ban was for Pony Ride, and yeah, I think that was the 4th. Oh, was that the 4th ban? That must have been a ban in the second phase after they picked the Nyx Assassin. The Winter Wyvern is going to be the opening pick for the Savoury characters. It was a very strong showing from Owl on the Winter Wyvern in game 1, so not surprised to see that prioritized here by Savoury characters once again. Silencer going to be banned out. That'll protect your Dawnbreaker pick. One of the more annoying heroes to deal with for the Dawnbreaker. Wonder if we see the Nyx Assassin ban, because that can be another annoying one, but they'll go for the Viper. I don't know if Benji plays a Nyx Assassin.
Radiant must choose.
They'll actually ban it out themselves. Interesting. I know the Nyx goes well with the Dawnbreaker as well. It's going to be a Benji Hoodwink. That's been one of their other specialties out of the position 4 in past seasons. And it's kind of just a WLDL classic. I feel like ever since Hoodwink was added to the game, just about every position 4 player enjoys a Hoodwink in this league.
5 seconds. Dice's turn to pick.
Shadow Demon is going to be the pickup for Razzil Dazzle. I believe that's their response to the Winter Wyvern as a way to remove the cursed hero from the map. I'm trying to think how well that works as a counter to that, though. Because you need to have enough cast range. Followed up with an Ogre Magi. So that should secure the Dawnbreaker as core, which we expected. Oh yeah, I was going to say, I think I said Pony Ride was the expected Dawnbreaker player. I might have been wrong, though, because I want to say they played it in the offlane, and so it was a Super Nintendo Chalmers hero. But I'm honestly not positive. Lots of beef on this Razzil Dazzle lineup now. Savoury going to answer it with a Spectre. So a pair of global heroes on either side of the draft. Spectre for Savoury and Dawnbreaker for Razzil Dazzle. They will pair that with a Tidehunter as well. That's going to give them a ton of team fight. The Winter's Curse is so scary now when you see this Tidehunter. The Hoodwink pick also
10
sets up these two
seconds.
heroes really well with the Viper band out by Razzle Dazzle. They
5
punish this
seconds
Viper band
remain.
so hard with these two picks. Because now you desperately want to break, and the next best one after Viper in the game is Hoodwink, which is already on the other side of the draft. This is some grade A draft from Savoury characters with these strats playing around the breaks that are in the game. I have no idea if Razzle Dazzle has a Doom player or if there's room for that in the draft with a Dawnbreaker and Ogre. It feels like it would be weird to play with those two heroes, but you could maybe make it work. But even that, the break isn't until level 25, right? And at that point, you're in trouble if your game's going that late against the Spectre. They're gonna go for the Warlock, which is interesting. It means this Ogre Magi is now a core, which is certainly not out of the question. It's not something I expected to see. So I'm guessing, I think this is a Dawn mid and Ogre off, or the other way around. This is a spicy draft. I like it from Razzle Dazzle. I like what they're cooking here. OD going to be the ban from Razzle Dazzle.
10 seconds remain.
So aside from that Silencer, which arguably could be a mid-hero, but I don't think that's where they were banning it for, still going the full slate of Asia heroes. And I mean, these last two bans should be, it looks very much like it will be lane to be picked for Savoury. Carry expected for the Razzle Dazzle side, so Faceless Void going to be banned out. The other interesting thing with this Ogre and Dawnbreaker pair of cores,
10 seconds.
with the Shadow Demon and Warlock behind them, is that you kind of have...
5 seconds.
Like, you'd love to have a ranged carry to sit behind a Dawnbreaker and Ogre, but then do you have too much of a backline with a Shadow Demon and Warlock? And is the Spectre... I feel like the Spectre is going to be too big a threat if you go for a backline carry here, too. So I think Savoury characters have the right read with the Faceless Void and Monkey King bans. I think Razzle Dazzle are kind of locked into going a melee carry.
Remain.
Now, what do they want to pair with this?
5 seconds remain.
Is an interesting question. You could go... Maybe you go a mix. Maybe you go for like a Terrorblade, because then you get the Shadow Demon illusions from it. Plus the, you get the Bloodlust on top of the Metamorphosis. I kind of like that idea if Mort plays it. I feel like that also gives you the damage you're going to need late game against the Spectre. You can build a Shadow Blade, or you can build a Silver Edge on a Terrorblade. I don't think it's his favorite item by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think he minds building one. Probably less than like a Dawnbreaker does. I guess if you're going like right-click Ogre to eventually get the like Fire Blast on attacks talent at level 25, you could go a Silver Edge on the Ogre, but I don't know that that'll be the plan. They're gonna go for the fish. They pick up the Slark. So I like that, because that's neither a frontline hero nor a backline hero. It's a dive hero. It's gonna be a good answer to the Spectre. It's gonna put a lot of pressure on the positioning of the Winter Wyvern and Hoodwink. Now, granted, compared to a Shadow Demon and Warlock in particular, a Wyvern and Hoodwink have a very nice repositioning, so it's not going to be a free game for this Slark to jump on this backline. It also threatens whatever Savoury characters might pick up for this mid lane pick if they're going to go for some kind of ranged hero, something to fill in where like the Arc Warden and Lena bans have taken out. Maybe if that's what they're looking for, then that's a good position for the Slark. So it makes it a little trickier for Savoury to find something that fits into this draft the way they wanted it. They now have to make... I mean, they could go back to the Tiny. I don't hate it here. It's a pretty good answer to the Slark, because you can just Avalanche when he goes on with the leash, and you can kind of just stand there and hit him. And then you don't really care about the backline dive. Maybe you could go with Spirit Hero too. The lockdown isn't insane. You have to be wary of like the Golem setting things up. That BKB piercing stun is pretty scary out of the Warlock. And because then from there you can chain that into like the Fire Blast. So the instantaneous sunspeed. It's a Phoenix.
Upon the battlefield today.
Oh, it's a Midwinter Wyvern. Okay, this was something we actually, our team had scrimmed against Savoury characters and had seen it, so I didn't want to leak those strats if they didn't end up doing it, but I knew that this was a possibility, that they could potentially flip this Wyvern over to a court, and that's exactly what they do. They pick up a different bird to go into the position 5, and they're going to run the Wyvern out of the mid lane. That's going to be into the Dawnbreaker as the offlaner. Now, the scary thing for this Wyvern is the Slark. I like this Slark pick, even without them knowing that the Wyvern would end up going mid, because I think it's a hero that can threaten the Wyvern. The Wyvern's reposition isn't amazing. Like you get the flying movement on the Arctic Burn, but that's not a way to escape the leash. Alright, but how about hats for this draft? There's a lot of really good hats once again on both sides. I think I gotta go with Savoury characters though. You've got the Spectre Arcana, you've got that big Cthulhu head on the Tidehunter. This Phoenix is decked out, and the Hoodwink and Wyvern look great as well. Aisha showing up Owl a little bit with the Wyvern cosmetics in this game. Alright, and with that, we're into game number 2. On the side of Razzil Dazzle, looking to even out this best of 2 series, split it with Savoury characters. We have Sweet Poo Magoo.
Honestly, I'm really impressed.
On the Warlock. Oh, this is actually a player swap, isn't it? From last game. We had...
You're doing very well. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, we had Rufio swap out for Sweet Poo Magoo. Totally missed that. Sweet Poo Magoo on the Warlock. We've got Sergeant Sarcasm on the Shadow Demon. Pony Ride on the Dawnbreaker, Super Nintendo Chalmers, with 4 Gauntlets of Strength on this Chad Ogre build, and then Mort on the Slark.
All of us.
Opposite side, we've got Aisha on the Midwinter Wyvern, Benji on the Hoodwink Pepperboy, picking up the Tidehunter in the offlane. And down bot, you've got Beats on the Spectre, Owl on the position 5 Phoenix.
They did not respect the buybacks once again.
Terribly sorry, my behavior score is too low for a reply, so please enjoy this voice line.
Nothing too spicy to start things off. No early first blood attempts. We are actually now going to see Pepperboy get a little bit set up on, as these Fatal Bonds could get a little scary, but it looks like Savoury characters will be able to properly disengage, avoid any further harass. Threats of a first blood. Let's see, who is scary? I'm worried about Pony Ride's lane in this swap of the Winter Wyvern into the mid lane. I feel like the ranged harass is going to be really difficult for a Dawnbreaker to deal with. Ogre and the Spectre are super chunky. We do have the Shadow Poison. It does lead to some good harass that makes it a little harder to survive on the Spectre, especially in the early levels. Yeah, I think this laning phase shouldn't be too spicy. And we've got 5 melee cores in this game. And then the Winter Wyvern. And that Arctic Burn. Pop up the high ground and take down that Observer Ward. He's gonna get the response of the Celestial Hammer. Pony Red actually now burning down to that Arctic Burn. Splinter Blast comes out as well, helping with the last hits. Weren't wanting to push Benji off of most likely the pole camp. Yeah, everybody just kind of chilling, farming. Ardent Sarcasm a little low down here in the bot lane, trading blows with Owl's Phoenix. Get some more Shadow Poison cooking. Owl also has that Icarus dive ready to go. Deny of the Observer Ward from Sergeant Sarcasm. Make sure that Owl does not pick up the gold, and I missed the first blood because it's happening top lane.
Crazy amount of it, really.
Talk about WLDL traditions. One of them is certainly missing the first blood. Let's get that death summary before it goes away. It's a bushwhack into lots of damage. Is Mort getting bushwhacked up as well? Be a little careful. The slow coming out from the Acorn. But Mort going to be okay for now. Has that magic stick ready to go with the heals.
Gather darkness.
Alright, looking to get the stun under tower, but the tower is a little too focused on creeps to get any shots in on the Winter Wyvern. Aisha up a level. Despite being even, basically, on last hits, 19 to 18, no denies on either side of this mid lane. Off another bushwhack onto Mort. Fatal Bonds, though, is getting troublesome for Pepper Boy. No point in the Kraken Shell yet, either. So, taking a good amount of damage. Benji taking some harass as well. Playing the banjos, they retreat. Actually getting super low to Pony Ride down. A lot of low health heroes. A Bloodseeker on the dire side would be absolutely feasting. Nice bushwhack from Benji onto the Slark. Still not going to be enough, and that Fatal Bonds is going to further push Savoury characters out of this lane. Aisha's super low in the mid lane on the Winter Wyvern, but survives for now. I have no idea which lane to look at because luckily the Phoenix is finally healed back up a bit. Fatal Bonds absolutely brutal for this Savoury character's offlane. Boot Pumagoo, 2 points in it already. Aisha forced to walk all the way back, so that's actually going to give some nice space to Pony Ride in this mid lane. So surviving the Winter Wyvern and now getting about a wave ahead.
Off with you.
Oh god. 8 denies on Mort, 8 denies on Super Nintendo Chalmers. That 9. They're going to be a little hurting for XP. Owl is level 2. I mean, Beats is level 5, so Owl just hasn't been spending a lot of time actually in the... Super Nintendo Chalmers is not particularly high on XP either. Things staying pretty quiet again. It's the Dawnbreaker that's low over in the mid lane as the first Arctic Curse of the game is used. Couple more right clicks, gets the uphill miss, so Pony Ride may be able to survive, not able to find it for Aisha. Pony Ride with the absolutely brutal voice line in response to getting knocked out of lane on 1 health. And up top, they set up on the squirrel and find the kill. Pounce coming out from Slark, tons of damage out of the Dark Pact as well. Ooh, also ate a Hellbear Clap. That one never feels good. Getting done dirty by the tomato. Down bot, taking a ton of heat on Beats and Pony Ride with a nice rotation off of that first Solar Guardian. Super Nintendo Chalmers throws a well-deserved tip Pony Ride's way. They secure an important early kill on the Spectre. Sets back that level 6 timing, which is very important for Spectre, looking to do something very similar to what Pony Ride just did to them. Get those early rotations for kills. Now Pony Ride right back into the mid lane. Celestial Hammer into the Starbreaker brings Aisha a little below half. Now, forced to retreat from that Arctic Burn. Damage dished out by this Winter Wyvern, even from early levels. It's quite a bit. Sweet Poo Magoo stirring up some soup, 2 levels in that as well.
Regeneration.
Moving. More looking to maybe set up on a Pepper Boy. Gets the Dark Pack damage on Acorn, going to push Mort back a bit. Rush out from Pepper Boy. So both cores up in this lane, sitting a wee bit low. Probably feeling relatively safe. Respective positions. We're going to get a rotation from Benji over towards the Wisdom Rune to scoop that up. Sergeant Sarcasm already having picked up the Dire one. Haven't seen any spicy plays around those Wisdom Runes yet in the series. Mort looking for something onto Pepperboy, who's taking a lot of damage from the Fatal Bonds in the camp. The Dark Pact hitting at least 1 or 2 of those creeps as well means that the Tide Hunter goes down. So very nice awareness from Mort to be able to capitalize on that.
Bounty.
Got another Solar Guardian ready to go for Pony Ride. Curious to see if we're going to see another rotation there. Meanwhile, Aisha looking to sneak their way up to top lane. Let's start with the Arctic Burn, slowing down Sweet Poo Magoo. A little bit scary just from the right clicks, and they followed up with the Gush, and there's that Shadow Step. The heals from the Solar Guardian, not quite enough. Now they have Pepperboy in with the Ravage. They use the Winter's Curse to slow down and hold Pony Ride in place. Mort stepping into it, but not in time to get any attacks off. Pony Ride getting chunked down. Mort jumping forward. They get the break out from the jungle camp onto Aisha.
Is under attack.
Too much. Looking for a spicy TP away. No Pounce available, so we'll get away with it on not much health at all. Actually decides to go to the mid lane to get some farm. She's going to help cover as looks to farm up. Doesn't want to sacrifice that farm by going all the way back. Beats the Super Nintendo Chalmers squaring up. Beats taking quite a bit of damage from this Ogre. Between the Ignite, the Fire Blast, and just the right clicks with Bloodlust, Ogre actually hits hard. Ignite's coming out. We've got the heals from Owl. Stun up, though, just walking under the tower. Now taking the big damage from the laser on Super Nintendo Chalmers, and Beat's going to escape out to the other side. Ogre's going to have to retreat. Sergeant Sarcasm looking to pick up the kill, but it actually just ticks out to the fire damage. Ignite. That's crazy that a Spectre just dies like that. 3 levels in Ignite, though, means that the burn damage is there. Super Nintendo Chalmers goes unpunished for that. We're going to get a pounce forward from Mort, looking to bring down Pepperboy once again. The Fatal Bombs are going to help make it happen. In the mid lane, Aisha dishing out that damage with the Arctic Burn.
Radiant should look to their top tower.
Quiet down a bit once again.
Structures are fortified.
Everybody just kind of back in their respective lanes. I'm going to head over towards the mid lane to cover that as Aisha makes a rotation towards the top. I believe she's actually going to head home for mana. So down in the bot lane, it's a Solar Guardian to set up It's like the stun didn't quite connect, but it's still going to be plenty of damage to bring down Beats again. This Solar Guardian versus Shadow Step, this kind of dichotomy of the two global pick-off ultimates. So far, Pony Ride has been getting a little more value out of it. Now we're going to find a haste rune on the Dawnbreaker. See if they look to make another play with that. Meanwhile, Savoury characters, they're chipping away at this top tower. Not getting very much of an answer as Mort escapes off into the jungle. Look at our net worth. It's Mort out on top, followed by Super Nintendo Thomas. Most of that 2k net worth lead that you're seeing for the side of Razzil Dazzle.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger. Dire have fortified their structures against attack. Dire should look to their top tower. Radiant's bottom tower.
I think they're going to try to make a bid to defend this tower. Certain Sarcasm and Mort make their way over. Gonna get bushwhacked up on the Slark. Tower taking off the name. Super Nintendo Chalmers, though, meanwhile, getting the bottom tower. Now they're gonna chip away at Pepperboy. They've got the Golem. They're gonna drop that, and all of a sudden, the dude's dead. The Slark loves these tanky heroes, getting to build up 10 Essence Shift, 30 Agi. From getting to just hit after hit after hit on this Tidehunter. Aisha looking for maybe a Winter's Curse. Benji gonna try to set up for it. The Bushwhack doesn't quite connect. Focus over towards Sergeant Sarcasm with the Sunbeam coming out as well. And there's Beats with the Shadow Step. Finishes off that kill on the Shadow Demon. Savoury characters, they find a nice answer. Maybe look to finish off this tower, which is very low. I think it's in deny range if Super Nintendo Chalmers wanted to bonk it. But Pepperboy is going to be allowed to pick it up. Benji will actually be the one that finishes it off. For the mid lane, Razzil Dazzle look to answer with another tower of their own, but Aisha doesn't want to see that happen. Throwing out the Arctic Burn actually uses the Winter's Curse to cancel the movement from the Celestial Hammer, cues up the Bushwhack into the snipe. Very well played by the duo of Aisha and Benj. Meanwhile, over in the top lane, Mort finds a kill on Owl, and Pepperboy, this Dark Pack damage is absolutely nuts. Super Nintendo Chalmers follows it up with a Fire Blast. The Pounds is there to make sure that there's no chance for Pepperboy to escape. And it's unstoppable for Mort. 6-0-0. But dominating for Aisha as she finds another pick-off, this time on Sergeant Sarcasm. Once again assisted by Benj with the Bushwhack.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is in danger.
Razzil Dazzle looking to continue to test this mid lane off of the respawn of Pony Ride. With that Bloodlust, maybe looking to continue chunking away. Splinter Blast, though, plus the Arctic Burn, that long-range damage from the Midwinter Wyvern, it's hard for Razzil Dazzle to deal with. Super Nintendo Chalmers gets brought pretty low right away.
Should look to their bottom tower.
Looking for a good camp to use that Midas on. Get that farm cranked up to 11. So we got Fusel done on Mort, and they're actually going to look to find a setup on Aisha, but it's going to be a turnaround with the Bushwhack. Super Nintendo Chalmers is going to be the one that goes down. They get a Winter's Curse off of there, just the Cold Embrace. Now the Winter's Curse comes out, sets up the Ravage as well. Maybe could have held on to that for just a little bit longer, but it looks like it'll be enough for Aisha to escape. Mort's Courier goes down, but Slark himself will be able to escape. Fire Spirit doesn't quite connect, and Pounce Away is there. Beats, meanwhile, off on the side, they drop the rock on Beats, and Pony Ride just barely survives. So chaotic fight that ends off in multiple directions. Set up from Sergeant Sarcasm with the disruption. Well done there. Finding the kill for the team on that all-important Spectre.
Not cool.
Let's see, what else we got going for items? We got the Vlad's picked up again by Pepperboy. Time on the Tide Hunter is Ben. Looks to set up on Super Nintendo Chalmers, has the Bushwhack. Going to turn it into a stun. Can't quite get the space off of the Fire Blast. Now they're in from Pony Ride, though. They set up onto Aisha. That's a nice kill to go Mort's way. Ben's trying to escape. Pepperboy getting slowed down as well. Taking out to this Ignite. The Squirrel finally dies. Bushwhack will maybe be enough for Pepperboy to escape. Now they turn their attention over towards Owl, who will go down. Sergeant Sarcasm feeling the burn as well, but looks like going to be able to survive. So overall, very nice counter initiation by the side of Razzil Dazzle. End up finding 3 from Savoury characters. Also going to turn that into that mid-tier 2 that they've been playing around for a while. Or sorry, tier 1. Getting ahead of myself here.
Double damage.
Mine.
We've got the Witchblade done on Winter Wyvern, looking for that Aghanim Scepter to get the toggle on Arctic Burn, similar to like a mid-AA build where you're going for that Ags to get the no cooldown on Chilling Touch. Basically getting fully, whenever you want it, Arctic Burn on your attacks. Really brings that core Winter Wyvern online.
Bounty!
Aetherland's almost done on Sergeant Sarcasm. That's going to be an important one to try to get the saves for the Winter's Curse. Now they're going to look to set up on Pepperboy once again. Cooking the soup for Sweet Magoo. Ravage is going to have to be used, and they swoop in with the Phoenix Egg up on the high ground. Really nice positioning from Owl as Sweet Magoo can get burned down. Pony Ride falls to the laser as well, and beats us in with the Shadow Step to try to bring down Sergeant Sarcasm. Benji will pick it up with the snipe, and that is 3 down. Mort finds Owl on the back line, but that's just kind of a consolation prize as Savoury characters bring down 3 heroes off of a beautiful counter initiation Ravage into Supernova. And this game has been, I mean, I think back and forth's a little bit of an understatement looking at that graph. Super close. Only a 1k difference now off of that fight from Savoury. We're gonna get the Golem dropped down onto Pepperboy. Only Super Nintendo Chalmers and Sweet Magoo in the area for now. Sergeant Sarcasm looking to make the rotation in. There's Solar Guardian coming out. Nice positioning from Mort off on the side, so they'll finish off Pepperboy. Aisha does get the kill. The beat's now going to get cancelled with the pounce, but a nice Bushwhack from Bendy for the save. They have the Fatal Bonds ticking out, but it's not going to be enough to break on Mort. It's able to purge it off and will finally finish off the kill, but now there's a Winter's Curse off in the back lines. Super Nintendo Chalmers goes down. Aisha trying to escape, but no chance to. Benji falls to Mort as well, and it's 2 for 4, so right back the other way. Razzle Dazzle back in the lead. My goodness. Mort looking to set up on Owl as well, teeing off on that tower. There's an Orchid on this Slark. There's not going to be any chance trying to find that Haste Rune without the Icarus dive available, but no way to get away, and Mort cleans up 1 more kill. End up being a full team wipe, yeah. Essentially, they might not have all been dead at the same time. It's an 11-0 Slark. This Mort Slark. Absolutely insane. This Orchid pickup is super cool too. Not something you normally see a position 1 go, but recognizes how much utility that these heroes have to be able to escape between the dagger, the Icarus dive, the scurry. You've got the Arctic burn, like looking for any and all ways to stop them from getting these spells off that get them to disengage. Plenty of gold in the tank means it's going to be an Aghanim Scepter for this Slark very soon as they continue their tirade in this game. We're trying to lead the charge towards a 1-1 start to the group stage. Looking out on Aisha has the Orchid and sets up into Pounce. There's the Solar Guardian as well to connect. The Bushwhack not quite enough to save them. The Beyond Godlike continues for Mort. Very nice find. This Slark that they pick up in the last phase, it has been It's been doing it for him. Got the Mage Slayer done on Hoodwink, so a nice little option to reduce some of the magic damage with that Acorn bouncing around, applying Mage Slayer to everyone that it hits. Really nice having that utility on your position 4. They're gonna set up with a Bushwhack on to Mort. Throw out a Fire Spear, but they don't quite have anything else they want to connect with. They use a Smoke, and immediately breaks on Pepperboy, as Mort is already hunting into the backline. He's going to spot both supports out. Doesn't quite connect with the Pounce. Doesn't have the Agnum, so it'll be a little bit before the next Pounce. Aisha's going to try to teleport over, help defend this, and so it looks like Razzil Dazzle going to back away for now. Not fully, though. Still want to apply pressure to this tower. Now it looks like they will choose to back away. Smoke up on a few heroes from Sweet Pumagu. A ping coming out topside as they see Beats farming a little low. Working towards that Radiance on the Spectre. Certainly not had the game on the Spectre that you necessarily want to see, but still plenty of room with how close this game has been and how back and forth it's been. Once they hit that Radiance time, that Spectre becomes a whole lot more scary. It's going to be a nice answer for the Slark. Really relies on getting the right clicks in. Actually has the Agnum Scepter ready to go. Swaps it in. See if we end up seeing like a Monkey King bar next. Still get... Maybe that's also the idea behind this Orchid, is that you build it into Bloodthorn. Because then you get the True Strike, at least from the Bloodthorn duration. But I don't know if you can kill a Spectre during Bloodthorn. Still nice, though, for the evasion that is granted to the allies from the Radiance.
The tower is under attack.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm surprised we don't... Like, I know the Shadowblade Slark isn't nearly what it used to be, but the Silver Edge is so important. Like, I feel like that's part of why you pick this up, is you get the Pounce behind the tower. The Orchid, but the heals are there from Owl. No mana, though, thanks to the Diffusal Blade and Pepperboy getting absolutely torn apart. Get a nice Winter's Curse, but Sergeant Sarcasm has the final pop with the ultimate. Super Chalmers, though, getting run down by the laser. They jump forward from Beats to finish off the kill, so it'll be a 1-for-1 trade of offlanes. But Morta's maybe still looking for something. Sitting right up on the high ground as Owl walks up. They get the Bushwhack and the Cold Embrace, so that'll hold Mort in place and stop them from hitting Owl for now. Has to pounce away. But out of Pounce charges for now, and the slows are coming out. Solar Guardian gonna try to help heal them up, but the Bushwhack is there. Nice save from Sergeant Sarcasm. Keeps them alive even longer. Will finally go down. Godlike Streak goes over to Beats. That's a scary thing to happen for Razzil Dazzle. As Beats now trying to run down Sergeant Sarcasm. They get the Glimmer Cape. They drop the Golem on Beats, but there's not much follow-up. Meanwhile, the Curse, it comes out on a Pony Ride, and that's going to be the Dawnbreaker falling. So Savoury characters all of a sudden once again putting together another hell of a fight. And they're right back in it. Lead cut down to 3k, and it swings back the other way. The Aghanim Scepter timing on the Winter Wyvern. I love that the high five shows up in the team fight summary. I had not seen that before. Man, that was an insane fight. The saves both ways. If Mort had a little more health, the disruption from Sergeant Sarcasm there was insane to keep the Slark alive a little longer.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mort wants to go right back into it, but actually doesn't get a damage proc off on the Tide to stop the blinks. Now pounced in, but a little deeper than they want to be, and gets Bushwhack down to the low ground. Gonna set up Aisha to be in a pretty good spot to contest this, so Mort just gonna be forced to Shadow Dance away. Brings that into the Pounce. They set up right back with the Ravage onto 3. Sergeant Sarcasm and a little bit of No Man's Land. The Egg to follow up, forcing all of Razzil Dazzle back. And they actually get the stun right on the edge, so it's going to be the Shadow Demon that falls. Super Nintendo Chalmers in a little bit of trouble too. So the dagger connects from Beats. Pepperboy looking to chomp away as well, and they bring down Super Nintendo Chalmers. Savoury characters. They are storming through this now, chaining a couple fights together. Mort getting slowed up, going to purge that off, but Pepperboy's right back on top of him with a blink. We have a lot more mana to work with, so Mort will be able to get away for now. And maybe with full resources, wants to kind of look for a way back into this fight. Favorite characters teeing off on the tower. Range with this Arctic Burn is just stupid. This isn't even with the Dragon Lance. Now Mort looks for the engage, gets the silence, but not before the Icarus dive goes off. The Cold Embrace keeps Owl alive for now, but it's just kind of giving something more for Mort to charge up those stacks on Owl, trying to get the laser off, but now the connect from Pony Ride. Owl finally goes down. Jump forward, Mort is going to find the other support in Benji. The chase continues, they get the slow, but once again, Pepperboy able to jump away. Picked up a shield rune in the river, so it's a little bit more for Mort to have to chunk through, but it's also more Essence Shift stacks to build up. Aisha using that Arctic Curse, or the Arctic Burn, sorry, to try to escape. But the Fusel's there, they chain it together with the Golem as well, and now suddenly Razzil Dazzle are the ones finding themselves winning the team fight. This game is pure chaos, and I absolutely love it. Off the back of those 3 kills, Razzil Dazzle now threatening the mid-tier 2 of Savoury characters. And it looks like they're going to find it. The Wyvern still dead for about 20 seconds, so even with the supports respawning, Savoury characters will not have the tools to be able to defend that. Slark is looking now towards that Bloodthorn as an option to get through that Radiance, which has been finished on Beats. Has the Yasha, so not far away from that Manta-style Diadem ready to go as well. Mort's heading up towards that Roche Pit. Still has 20 stacks from that last team fight. They're wearing off now. 16 permanent stacks. 14, 1, and 5 on this Slark. Savoury characters, they're starting to show up. Do they have a Ravage ready to go? Super Nintendo Chalmers is up there, ready to find them. Beats is in, trying to chunk away Sergeant Sarcasm, but has the disruption. Now there's the Winter's Curse, only going to hit one against another, but now the Ravage connects. Sergeant Sarcasm still in trouble. Supernova right at the edge of the Roche Pit. As one is dead on either side, Sergeant Sarcasm finally going to fall. Egg connects, it actually stuns up Pony Ride right on the edge, gonna try to Celestial Hammer and then TP away, but they have the damage, they have the stuns. No! Actually is able to escape. But now Savoury characters, they end the fight up 4 heroes to 3, so they're going to be able to finish off this Roach. It's going to be a bit of a troublesome situation for Razzle Dazzle. They try to get the Roach. Savoury characters, they take a great fight around it. They're going to be able to snag it. They have just enough damage to kill him before he goes through the gate. They do. Beats will pick up that Aegis. This Spectre, absolutely going to be impossible to kill now. Well, this is insane how close. I mean, still a good distance away, but Mort has had such an insane game. But it was not long ago that Beats was a little bit before the Radiance timing and was at the bottom of the cores in the net worth category.
Looks like it's time for me to go all out.
It's actually going to be a pivot towards the Mage Slayer, it looks like, for the Slark. Looking for ways to cut down on the magic damage. The bigger threats is the magic damage coming off of this Arctic Burn from Aisha, who's working still on that Dragon Lance for the Hurricane Pike. Get some extra disengage. Looks like from there actually has the, oh yeah, the Mystic Staff for the Pharasma out of the Witchblade. And then into a Revenant's Bridge, which I don't know if we've seen in a WLDL game ever. Because it was really bad last year.
This will provide.
We've actually got Shivas on Tidehunter, so that's another reason you have to think about mitigating the magic damage. Leipnir being worked on by Hoodwink. Where is Mort killing somebody? It's Beats off in the jungle. They find him and they connect with Solar Guardian as well. Now they're in with the egg. Mort just being forced to back away, and it's going to be Pony Ride that goes down. Beats able to survive. They actually did get a little bit of a stun onto Mort to slow down this escape. Has another pounce coming up in a couple seconds. Shadow step forward, but it's just in time with the bounce timing. Sweet Pumagu throws out the Fatal Bonds, trying to discourage them from chasing forward. Sergeant Sarcasm going to show up to the area as well. Maybe now going to be in a little bit of trouble as the Ravage is going to connect onto the Shadow Demon. Mort still able to escape and has another pounce available to escape with into the Dark Pact as well, so will not be slowed up. So a couple heroes pay the price of what looked like it could have been a really good engage from Mort, finding Beats off in the jungle, but the response from Savoury characters was there. Also would have been scary because it just would have brought down the Aegis off of Beats. Taken a lot to bring down this hero twice. You also have the Mage Slayer done on Mort. Maybe looking to focus more in onto the Winter Wyvern. Oh, they find some stacks up here. It looks like the Stolen Wisdom Room to go with it. Oh, this range is so ridiculous. Couldn't be allowed. And it's not a lot of damage, because all the damage is on Arctic Burn.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Pumagu working on the Aghanim Scepter for the Warlock, get that double Golem action going for the Chaotic Offering. Beats looking towards an Orchid of their own. That's going to be a really good tool for holding down this Slark. With no BKB in the plans yet for Mort, that silence could be really devastating. Pony Ride carrying a Mage Slayer as well for the Dawnbreaker, so they've got a few ways to get that magic damage reduction out. As Beats chasing forward on a Sweet Pumagu, has the Dust available, and so this Warlock is just going to get brought down. The Radiance ticks, finishing it off. Pony Ride not able to connect in time to push Beats off of Sweet Pumagu. Mort getting some harassing on Owl in the mid lane, but Aisha shows up with the Gold Embrace, gets the save, forces the Slark away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Intention forwards here, the laser from Owl. Actually doing quite a bit of damage to Sergeant Sarcasm. Pepperboy now in on the Shadow Demon. Slow from Gush means it's going to be a hard shot to escape. Escape they will not. Pepperboy picks up that kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pepperboy fully denies the Wisdom Root from Penji. I think it didn't have level 18 yet. Is that up, making sure they have the level 3 ult ready to go with the Ravage. Now we have the Hurricane Pike done for Aisha. Looking towards that Pharasma next. Even more damage from the Witchblade. Get a reduction of the enemy magic resisting. Gonna be the juicy part of that Pharasma. Orchid is there, but Morton's gonna be the one to get the first Orchid off. And they do have the Dispel in time, and it's actually a very quick kill onto Beats. And a interestingly timed disconnect. Actually a crash. Something about that kill on Beats, Sweet Pumagu's computer was not a fan of. Yeah, the danger of the Orchid as an answer to the Slark is that if Mort is good with the timings, got that Dark Pact off ahead of the Silence, and so it was not a factor. Yeah, that was very well timed too, because that had to have been right at the end of the Aegis timing. I wish I could see. I guess it had been down for a little bit, right? Because this would be at 3 minutes. Pretty sure that's how that works. Let's see. Got Aghanim Scepter being worked on by Tidehunter. Get that AoE Gush going. Reduce the armor to set up the damage from the Spectre. Owl's Phoenix working towards that Lotus Orb. They already have the Shiva's Guard on Tide, so probably not looking to finish that Veil of Discord into a Shiva's anytime soon. But they probably don't mind having 2 of them anyway. It's not a crazy high uptime. It's actually a very low uptime. It's 4 seconds on a 27-second cooldown, so not much harm at all in having 2 Shiva's Guards on the team. See, Mort does now have the Shadow Blade. Thinking about that Silver Edge in addition to the Bloodthorn. Those 2 items really will give Mort the tools to bring down this Spectre easier. And we just saw, I mean, when they were able to catch the Spectre out alone, they could find the kill on Beats. Super Nintendo Chalmers working on the BKB. Pair with the Pipe as their answer to the magic damage alongside the Mage Slayers. They look for a wraparound on this Ogre in a little bit of an awkward spot with Pepperboy and Benj behind. So we're going to try to escape Super Nintendo Chalmers. They trade Shiva's Guards, and Sergeant Sarcasm is there with the save from the Disruption. Give them a little more chance to back off. Damage coming out from the Arctic Horn, even into the Pipe of Insight. It is chunking through. Trying to TP the quadruple. The Ravage. They needed the 4x stun and they got it, but now Beats is in with the Shadow Step, trying to connect on a Sweet Pumagu. The Ogre Seal Totem. No way Sweet Pumagu survives there as well. Nobody dies. Only this tower does. Super Nintendo Chalmers throws a well-deserved tip to their Warlock. Like, the one thing that could possibly save you in that situation is this neutral item you happen to get and choose. Very nice. Benji checking for the Roshan could have respawned at this point, but it's actually going to be a very long respawn, almost the full 3 minutes. So, quite a bit of time compared to the possible minimum. These teams... It's going to be Razzil Dazzle looking to get out across the map. I mean, still super even, this game. It's been a slow climb for Savoury characters here, but still very back and forth, as the lead is almost nothing now. Owl in danger of being the one to get caught by this smoke. Mort may be hunting out towards that Roche pit. Still 2 minutes. It's going to be Mort connecting onto Pepperboy, using that Shadow Blade. The mana is already gone for this Tidehunter, but Owl is in. Has the heal, so that's going to keep Pepperboy alive. Meanwhile, off the back line, they find the kill on the Spectre. Owl goes for the Supernova, but there's no chance. It's 2 dead already. Benji trying to escape through the trees, has an Overseal Totem of their own. Mort is almost on point with the pounce, and the banish is there from Sergeant Sarcasm. Cancels the TP, and that's going to be Benji dying as well. Still a minute and a half to this Roshan, so it's not going to quite set up an Aegis for the side of Razzil Dazzle, but it's certainly a great fight for them.
Until you make mistakes.
Hey, what killed the Spectre? That was a part of the fight I wasn't looking at. It was the rest of the team. They were all on top of Beats. The damage from the Shiva's Guard, they set it up with the Chaotic Offering into the Fire Blasts. I mean, that's a lot of magic damage. Well played fight by Razzil Dazzle. The positioning, they get the better Savoury characters there with how they position in that fight. Getting the jumps they need. I think they're going to look to do some split pushing, try to set back the push. Actually not super long respawn, so maybe not even going to get a building here. At least getting the waves mostly pushed out except for the split pushing in the mid lane. Mort's going to now jump in under the tier 2 tower onto Pepperboy. They do have the Ravage available. They weren't able to get it off in that last fight due to the Diffusal Blade. Sergeant Sarcasm getting a little caught out forward. The Lotus reflects the Banish, so it's going to hold them both in place, and Shadow Demon is going to go down. Razzil Dazzle forced to retreat again. Very unfortunate on the Roche timing now for them. Because Roche is about to respawn, but now down a hero. It's potentially going to be Savoury characters Roche to take. Super Nintendo Chalmers knows that Beats is farming in this area. They're going to bring a few heroes over here, but Bench isn't going to make the counter rotation. But Mort's here too, and they're going to immediately set up with the pounce and the stuns. Squirrel's going to go down. Beats is going to be forced to get out of the area. And now that will allow Razzil Dazzle. When Mort sees the Roche, Sweet Pumagoo is getting shredded by the Arctic burn, but does manage to survive.
Regeneration.
Aisha and Owl were chasing down that Warlock. Did they... Mort definitely should have seen the Roche and that it's up. Maybe they want to get their waves pushed out a little bit better first. I'm pretty sure Mort dipped into the Roche pit.
I'll take that.
Interesting. Because with that Squirrel, I feel like they would love to take it. Super Nintendo Chalmers is going to poke their head in now. Rather, both of their heads. The Razzil Dazzle definitely know it's up. It's a matter of do they want to go for it. Benji is going to be back up in about 5 seconds. They won't have that hero advantage to go for it anymore. Means we could get another full 5-on-5 fight around the Roche pit. This time, actually with a Roche in the pit.
Scanning for
But most of an Agnum Scepter coming up on the Shadow Demon will give 2 charges to both Demonic Purge and Demonic Cleanse. Also has the Trickster Cloak ready to go. Very nice defensive item for them. It's Mort looking to find something over in the mid lane, but it's a Shield Rune on the Tidehunter. That is a very tanky lad. They're not going to be able to find the Slurk. The Shadow Blade allows them to escape. Has the Bloodthorn gun on Mort, looking towards the Silver Edge next. As they set up onto Sergeant Sarcasm, it has the Banish to be able to dodge the laser and the Sharpshooter, but will eventually go down. Now they look to connect onto the other support. Sweet Pumagoo does get the Glimmer Cape, so able to survive for now. It wears off. Nice Golem onto 2. Mort looking to chunk away onto Aisha, but Sweet Pumagoo goes down. Pony Ride getting torn apart as well, and the Supernova connects. There's the Winter's Curse onto Pony Ride. Mort potentially going to finish off their own teammate into the curse, and the Ravage is there. 4 dead on Razzil Dazzle. Super Nintendo Chalmers looking to BKB TP away. There's not going to be a way to answer it, but it will mean that Savoury characters, they win the Roche fight, and they are going to claim the Aegis for themselves once again. They'll get the Roshan banner to aid their push into the high ground. 44 minutes. Savoury characters are the ones back in the lead. This absolutely mad back and forth game. Game 2 of this best of 2 group stage series in week 1 of WLDL. Let's see. Actually, didn't end up going the Agnum Scepter on Pepperboy. So here comes the high ground push. A lot of Razzil Dazzle is back up, but not all of them. And that is going to spell trouble for them. As things get started into the high ground, it's going to have to be a buyback from Mort. But before Pony Ride has respawned or they can get into the mix, more buybacks are going to have to come out as heroes continue to fall. They're able to force staff down to the low ground. Mort still hunting, trying to bring down this Winter Wyvern. It's a massive source of damage. It's this mid-Winter Wyvern teeing off with that Agnum Scepter, the Parasma. Now going to work on Pony Ride. This is such a scary place to have to fight this super long-ranged hero. Sergeant Sarcasm goes down off of the buyback, gone for 90 seconds. Super Nintendo Trawlers forced to use the BKB as they try to escape. Mort hunting, but finds Beats. Maybe not the target you want to find, and pounce away, looks for the squirrel, but hiding in among the trees. Benji will be able to escape, and now they know where Mort is. Go on the hunt for the Slark, but it's a slippery fish to pin down. Goes out, away. Now a couple heroes TPing back. Pepperbolt, blinks away just in time. Has the TP, but has to be so wary of this pounce. 2 seconds left on it. Now going to try to turn. Drops out the anchor. It's going to make it harder for Slark to pursue. Going to have to turn and hit the anchor and then go back forward with the pounce. Running low on resources, though, and the blink away means that Mort is not going to be able to find the punish. So working on the Swift Blink next for this Wyvern. Also something coming out on the Courier. It's the Revenant's Brooch. Or it's part of a Revenant's Brooch. Does Revenant's Brooch build out of? Who builds this item? Oh, it's a Sacred Relic. Does she have the Sacred Relic coming? No, the Sacred Relic's in the queue. Okay. Only around a little bit of a dangerous spot. Gonna have to BKB TP as well. The only answer for that is the Winter's Curse, but I'm not quite there to be able to cancel the TP. Could have been an important pickup, although I believe that is a buyback that they still have. Yeah, the Dawnbreaker has buyback. Dawn and Ogre as they look to siege high ground again, knowing that they're low on the buybacks. Everyone's in on Sergeant Sarcasm. The Shadow Step's there from Beats. Golem's going to connect onto the Tidehunter, but that's a big fish to bring down. Ravage comes out, stuns 2 on the edge. Mort looking for a place to get into this fight. Supernova comes down, keeps them from getting onto their backline. The Golems from Sweet Poop and Blue getting chunked down, and meanwhile the towers as well. Damage coming out onto this building is pretty significant. You look to get this first full set of barracks. Mort jumps in onto Benji. They follow up with the Solar Guardian, trying to bring down the squirrel, but able to survive for now. Winter's Curse not quite right. It goes on to Owl. Benji's still able to escape anyway. Now the Winter's Curse sets up a bushwhack. Mort is getting torn apart. They don't have a buyback on the Slark. Dead for over 2 minutes. Pony Ride goes down as well. 80 seconds left. GG is called. Savoury characters. They win the team fights. The mid-Winter Wyvern performs beautifully for them. And they take their first series of the group stage 2-0. Wow. That game was nuts. It's hard to see because of how big this goes at the end. But all of this was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Like that, this game was anybody's until it wasn't. Like, again, right here at like 38 minutes, the net worth lead is like nothing. Here at 30 minutes, it's nothing. Like Crazy game. Who do you give an MVP to? I mean, 12-4-18 Midwinter Wyvern certainly looks like it could be the one. I think that's where it has to go. This was a really great performance from Aisha. Really scary stuff to see a team come out week 1 of the league and go game 1 support Winter Wyvern, game 2 Midwinter Wyvern. This is now going to be on everybody's list for this team of a hero that you either need an answer to or have to ban. And we're already seeing Razzil Dazzle banning, like using almost all, if not all 7 of their bans on the mid laner, and now you just added another one to the list. Like, whew. That is a scary thing to contend with. I haven't seen... Oh, I guess there's not really a lobby chat. If they reach out to me, I would probably chat. I mean, I think I'm going to be casting the later series with Aisha. I think that's the plan, so she might want to hop in a call sooner rather than later. We've got a bit of time before that series. I think I'm going to squeeze a pub game in, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break for now. So yeah, thanks for joining us for that first series. Again, we've got more to come for tonight. We've got Bring Me the Lamp versus H1 coming up at 9:30. Show you the that's going to be out of the Circlet division, which looks a little bit like this. This is going to be another really close matchup. Average MMR 2839 versus 2750. 2 seed versus 5 seed, which tells you like just how close this Circlet division is. And that's the bottom division. Usually there's a way bigger gap. And it's only an 800 MMR gap this year. That's really fun. I'm excited to see what this looks like. We will have that for you in a bit. Again, in the meantime, I think I'm going to get a pub game in. So that should be some fun stuff before we get into the next one. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be back soon. Yo, Benj, thanks for the follow right before we go to break. Appreciate that. Great game for you guys. Great series.